Hello YouTube, this is Captain underscore playing Kerbal Space Program, but not .19 as the last 6 episodes were, but in fact .20, the recently released version, which brings a new loading screen, and not just that, but also seats, which you can now use to control vehicles externally, like buggies and stuff, and flags, so you can put flags down on the Mun and other bodies. Nothing special. I'm a bit disappointed, but you know, that it took them so long to develop 2 minor things. I guess there's been some kind of background work done, and that they're working on other stuff that they're not releasing yet, because I can't imagine that it took them so long to work on 2 small additional features, you know, 2 small parts, nothing big. There's no great changes to the game at the moment, but whatever. Because I had installed a few mods on my .19 version and continued playing, I'm not able to continue that save file at the moment, so I'm just gonna make a new save file, and well, you can see here that you can now choose flags, and they've got a lot of default flags, but I've just added my own. I'm just gonna take my Captain underscore logo there, and yeah, it's pretty cool. You can take pretty much any picture, I guess. I think these are all PNG files, so I'm not sure if other files work. Just gotta try that. There's a folder in the KSP folder where you can put these pictures in, and the ratio doesn't have to be appropriate. It really doesn't matter. You can put anything in there and it works. So we're gonna start this game. We've got you might have seen that in the moment. We've got new loading icons on the bottom right there. Here's my flag. I can change it in-game if I want to, so that's nothing permanent. And I can actually change the flag for every mission, so I'm not just changing it for my space program. I can change it for every single mission. So if I want to have a special flag planted on Mars and a different one on the Mun, or whatever, but they are mission dependent. So nothing much has changed beyond that. We've got our stuff here, but I've got the feeling that these previews, these model previews, they look different somehow. Oh, and a few other parts have been added. For some reason, you can now actually place other props than just the pods, control pods. But I don't know why one would do that, so we'll just place a normal thing here. We're just going to make a very simple Mun mission today, nothing special. I'm just going to fast forward this part, so you're not going to have to watch me building this thing. It's going to take a while. Just a simple drive stage and a lander and well, a small Mun-Buggy attached to that, and see how that works. And we're going to use the seats for that. So we're going to be riding our buggy and planting flags and stuff, so let's fast forward the building. Okay, I guess I'm finished with this thing. We've got our this time 6 or 3 stage asparagus stage thing. Usually I only have 2 stages, meaning 4 of these fuel tanks instead of 6, but I'm not sure if this payload on top here really makes lifting this thing any easier, so I'm just going sure by adding a lot of extra fuel. You never know. Of course, this asparagus design allows me to really efficiently burn this stuff, and we're definitely gonna get this thing in orbit. Now, yeah, let's see. We've got the lander here, which is not really special. We just got this small 3-meter fuel tank and these small 1-meter fuel tanks, and they're just that should be enough fuel for the landing, even with this rover attached and returning to orbit around the Mun. And now we've got the buggy itself, which has these 2 chairs attached to it. This thing is upside down because we're gonna turn this around and land it the other way later on, but you'll see that in time. We got a small decoupler here, which will decouple this generator here, which is attached to the rover. I only have this thing attached because I need some kind of spacer. I noticed that when playing around with this stuff, if you have these chairs intersecting, because I could just stick this rover onto the floor or onto some other part, and if this decoupler is like touching the rover, then it might get stuck in the chairs, and then you're not going to get it off the lander, and that sucks. So you're going to have to push it down or something. It just gets stuck, and that's really difficult to solve that problem. So I'm going extra sure by adding this weird generator on the back, and I'm too lazy to add another decoupler and a separator so I could get rid of that thing later on. But you know, extra energy is never bad. Okay, now because this is our first launch, I've been on the launch pad a few times before just to check if the landing legs are in fact long enough. They should be. They shouldn't be too high and too low, because otherwise the rover's going to have a long drop, and that's not really good. So I just try to balance that, and you can only deploy them in on the launch pad. So we're gonna turn on ASAS. I have 2 ASAS modules, one on the lander because I'm not good at landing, and these ASAS modules help a lot. Like really. I almost forgot these fuel pipelines there as well, because I don't know, just didn't think about it. If I wouldn't have added those, these small tanks would have run out of fuel really quickly, and that would have been bad. Now what we have to do is turn off the fuel usage from these small tanks here, because this thing is attached over a docking node, and what happens is if I turn on this engine and start thrusting around, this engine is gonna eat the fuel from these tanks, and we're just gonna stop the fuel flow, so that can't happen. Happened to me before on other missions before, and you know, that's really lame when you think, oh, I've got a lot of fuel, we're getting there, it's like really awesome, and you've got enough fuel for your cruise stage, more than you ever thought, and suddenly when you're there, you notice your lander is absolutely empty, and that sucks. So let's not take any longer, set up this launch, and yeah, let's get going. Hopefully the staging is set up properly. Just one last check. Yep, looks good. I'm just going to check this one decoupler. You never know. Difficult to see this thing from up here. Yeah. Okay. So we're just going to move these chutes up. Quick save for the sake of quick saving. And launch. Okay, it's pretty wobbly, but it's okay. So it's not going to break apart, I guess. Good, this is the standard procedure, and I'm not going to record this, so I'll see you in orbit. And one thing I want to record is you can see the, right in the turn, my graph turn, I wanted to record that, that's not good. You can see that they've actually enhanced the terrain a bit. They've added, like, bump mapping, what it looks like. So you can see that on the islands, they've added these cliff surfaces. That looks pretty neat. And, yeah, that just adds to the detail and to the looks of the game. But that was just a small thing I wanted to mention. Okay, I'm not entirely in orbit yet, but as you can see, because I burned so, I don't want to say perfectly, but so early on, and I had this very good trajectory. I actually have a periapsis without even reaching my apoapsis and creating one. So the only thing I'll have to do is a really small adjustment at the end, and that saves a lot of fuel if you do this whole thing in one burn. So instead of having one burn to get to the altitude, the apoapsis, and then creating a periapsis by thrusting prograde, I just did this in one burn. So you can see this thing is already at 29,000 meters, and that's pretty high. So we only have to do a really small adjustment burn there. See, that's only 50, about 40, pretty exactly 40 meters per second of delta V that we'll have to apply there to get us into orbit, into a stable orbit, I should say. Here we go. Good. So I can't fast forward right now because we're still below 70,000 meters. And I do not want to do physical time warp, not with something like this attached. You know what could go wrong. Can I quick save? Oh yes, I can. Cool. Good. Although 2 times time warp is not bad at all. 66. Gosh, this is incredibly slow. That's the one thing. It takes a lot longer doing it this way. And you have to, I try to reach 75,000 meters as an apoapsis altitude, and you'll have to overshoot that a bit because you're still in the atmosphere. You're still in a very, very thin atmosphere, and you're still getting a lot of braking from that. So the apoapsis is going to drop by a few 100 meters at most, but it's still a difference. Especially if you get low orbits like this, you want to make sure that you overshoot it a little bit by a few 100 meters, just to compensate for this braking, this miniature braking. You can turn off ASS actually. Okay, we should be able to go into full warp now. Yeah, good. So one thing we will have to do is turn achingly slow. Still got 180 units of fuel in this big tank, and we're going to use those for our burn, because even though that creates debris, we've got orbital debris anyways. We got an orbit already, so we can just use that fuel. T and time warp. Okay, so how long is that burn going to take? I trust it. Yeah, look, it says 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds, about that. So we can easily do this with this fuel tank. So let's just warp up to the point. And faster. And faster, faster, faster. I'm very impatient. 10, 9, blah, blah, blah. Finished, we're there. Let's burn. See, I'm just doing this minutely, and we're getting into a trajectory like easily. Absolutely easily. So we got a perfect orbit with only 300 meters of difference in altitude, and that's just awesome. So I took enough time to show that. Let's skip ahead to the point where I've got my trajectory set up for the Mun. Okay, I'm right in the middle of my transit burn here, transfer burn, whatever you want to call it. I decided to jettison the other stage before this burn so I could time it properly, which is incredibly important if you want accuracy. And I want accuracy, or however you pronounce it. Somebody commented on that on another video saying that I pronounced it wrong. Whatever. I want to be accurate about this because I want to have a really low periapsis on the Mun, because I want to have a really low orbit. That makes it a lot easier to land stuff. And yeah, we know how important it is to land stuff properly. And that if you're not good at landing, take a low orbit. It makes things easier because you can get back easier. Well, at least that's what I think. So lower orbits are more fun for rendezvousing with landers, I guess. Whatever. It doesn't really make a difference. This lander's got a lot of fuel left. I think it should have a lot of fuel left when it returns, because I've made similar missions and it's worked before. Okay, halfway through the burn, or like 2/3. We've got Two new things right here at the top. We've got two icons. If you click on the top one, you actually get information on your vessel. Nothing really important in that sense, but you can see how many parts this thing's got. And how much it weighs, and that's kind of interesting. And just other trivial stuff. Nothing that would be really important. Nothing like I don't know, apoapse, altitude, and so on. You're still going to need mech-jeb for that, but at least it's a start. They're giving you some information. Then you got this crew window here, which shows you which people you got on board. And considering that they added something like that, I really hope that they fixed the duplicate Kerbal bug, glitch, whatever it was, because that was really messing up my saves, and it was difficult having to launch missions over and over again just so you could get the proper Kerbals into the proper ship and not having duplicate guys out there all the time. So let's just do the last meter per second there. There we go. Wonderful, we got that. So what have we got? 83. See, that's a big difference. I set this thing up for, and it's still jittering. Whatever. I set this thing up for, oh, what's that? Oh, that's new. I didn't see that before. If you put your mouse to the top of the screen, is that anything else? No. Cool, that's funny. Oh, I guess that ah. Wait a second, let's go there again. Ah, I get it. You can focus on all the different things. Okay, that's cool. Can you focus on everything? Oh, okay, that's cool. Oh, okay, I'm getting this. Okay, you can like right-click on everything, and then you can select all of this stuff, and you'll just display everything like ships and debris and so on. And if you left-click on it, you can only select stuff. So you want to only see debris, or you only want to see probes, or only ships. We haven't got anything up here besides this ship. But that's really cool, so we can filter out debris. We could just like select everything but debris. That's cool. And then we wouldn't see the debris. I guess that really helps organizing orbits and docking and rendezvousing. If you got densely populated orbits, you can really do stuff there. So that's the stuff. And about this Kerbal information vendor here again, it shows marked 1, 2 command pods. So I guess you can, if you've got multiple pods with different Kerbals in them, you can like see which Kerbals are in which pods, and you can see their courage and stupidity, but that's really unnecessary information that doesn't affect gameplay at all. Except visually, perhaps, because that's how they that kind of affects how they behave with their facial expressions. But you know, it's just cosmetic stuff, so nothing really important there. So we're closing in on the Mun. We got our SOI swap there, and see, we're actually at 91,000, and that's a lot. We're gonna drop that down to 40,000, I guess. 40,000 is a good altitude. Go on, 40,000. So okay. Now, because this is just a really simple retrograde burn, I'm just gonna skip all the way to the point where we've got our orbit established and are gonna decouple our lander. Good, now that we're in orbit around the Mun at about an altitude of 40,000 meters, we can just take a look, if you're watching this in HD, that they've added these, well, just textures. I think they hadn't had these before. If I'm like not entirely mistaken, these textures look different. They look new. It's not really special, but you know, it just adds a bit. It just adds a bit, even though these textures are, I think, a little bit weird. You know, these big rocks there, they are unnaturally large, but whatever. It's just textures, and it adds something like a cratery look that you didn't have before, unless I'm really mistaking this for something and I just didn't have my graphics turned up before, but I don't think so. Whatever. Good. We're gonna have to do the landing burn on the other side, because we want to land on the day side, and landing on the dark side is lame, and you don't see anything, and it's difficult for YouTube viewers to actually see anything on the screen besides blackness. So what we're going to do is we're going to decouple this thing right now, or at least we're going to move, I guess, Jeb and Bob over there into the other capsule so they can prepare for their landing, and we can then proceed with the decoupling. Okay, grab that, and board, thank you, and Bob, I said. Because Bill is so stupid that I do not want to have him on a lander. Seriously, you don't know what could happen. Oh, down there. Yeah, and board. Okay, got that done. So, I suppose quick saving is in order. The fuel level of my crew stage is in fact extremely low, which is not good. I suppose it should be enough for a return to Kerbin. I guess 380. Yeah, that should be more than enough. I hope. Whatever. We're gonna get there. We still got. We will still have fuel in the lander when that thing comes back up, because we're not gonna take the rover back up and stuff like that. It's gonna be pretty lightweight. Good. So we've got those guys over there. Quick save one more time. You never know what could happen. Turn on ASAS. Make sure that Bill is actually still in there. Yep. He's going to be lonely for some time now. But whatever. Decouple node. And as always, we're on the wrong craft. So. The lander's got no RCS whatsoever. Only the cruise stage has got the RCS. So this thing will be performing the docking later on. It's got way more monopropellant than we would ever need, but I always like to go sure. Stuff tends to go wrong, and well, I do not want to have to compensate for anything later on, and then like run out of monopropellant. That would be horrible. Especially because we have got no Mun station up here. We've got no lander tugs that could assist us up here, so we're completely on our own, like the Apollo guys. So let's time warp to the point of where we will effectively burn retrograde, and I suppose we're going to do that here somewhere, because I want to land somewhere over here on the bright side. I hate landing in craters. I've seen enough of those craters for now, and we're going to do that here. Oh, that's too much. Way too much. 17,000 is, let's go down to 8,000. Still 17,800. I said 8,000. 3,000. 5,000. 6,000. Come on. 8,000. 10,000 for security, because I think we've got a higher terrain over there. Whatever. And let's move this thing around to about there. Good. That looks really good. Well, I've already set up the burn. I've already lowered the periapse to about 10,000 meters, and I'm gonna do another burn to get rid of all my horizontal velocity, my entire orbital velocity there, and then we'll land. And as you can see, we've got the Mun arch over there, or one of them. If you can see it right there. Never been over there. Seen it a billion times, never landed near it. Whatever. So we're going to have to burn about, I think it was, we're going to have to burn 18 seconds early. Okay. Got 2 minutes out, so we can time warp that away. Do. Okay, perfect. Now, prepare to burn into 1. And we deorbited. Now we just have to get rid of all the velocity and see that we land safely. Now let's, the fuel is always one thing you'll have to take care of. The deorbiting and landing is probably the most fuel consuming part in this in this entire operation. So everything after landing it and so on is going to be a lot less fuel consuming. And that's good, because we're going to have to get back into orbit and rendezvous this thing. And have enough fuel for our return trip, because we do not want to stay around the Mun forever, you know. This was a two-way trip. At least it said so in the mission description, and frankly, I do not want to disappoint the poor Kerbals now stuck around the Mun. Whatever. Good. We are at an altitude of still 9,000 meters, and that's too high. We're going to have to wait a long time before we do our suicide or whatever landing burn. Okay, now's a good time. There we go. This thing has got a really great power, so we can actually lower the landing gear right now. But we can actually do pretty rapid maneuvers, so I can kill like 50 meters of velocity in like, well, I don't know, 2 seconds or something. That's pretty cool. 1, 2. Okay, I'd take 4 seconds. So we got 30 meters per second. Let's just not save too much fuel, because a messed up landing is worse than just not having enough fuel, I guess. Okay. In theory, it's the most efficient to do this all in one suicide burn, but I have no idea when I'd have to burn to do that. And I'm not taking the risk of just messing this up, because I mess things up frequently. So let's just slowly drop to this. I've turned off. Why did I turn off? Oh, see, I got nervous there. So we want to touch down real soft. I said real soft. Not at all. There we go. Okay, wonderful. That was still a bit of horizontal velocity, but it was okay. So we landed this thing, so let's quick save before anything bad happens. As you can see, we've already reduced this down to half of our fuel, or less than half of our fuel, but we're not going to need near as much fuel for getting back into orbit. So I'm still confident we can make this. Let's just hope that the rover doesn't do any trouble right now. Okay. Let's just shut off the engines, because that happened to me on another mission as well, that I accidentally pressed shift for some reason and crashed the lander somewhere, and that sucked. Pretty much everything you do in this game sucks if it's unintentional. At least I've never had any unintentional brilliant ideas or something that happened to me, so good. Jebediah, you're going to be the first Kerbal on the Mun in this save file. There you go. Alright, you happy? I guess he is. So he's going to make sure that everything works out properly, and we're going to have to drop this rover now. So let's quick save one more time and hope that this works. Hey, no glitches or whatever. So let's quickly switch to Jeb here before this thing rolls away. So you can right click on the seats and then board them. Now what we're going to do is hit the brakes. Looking good so far. Yeah. Okay, let's see if we can drive this thing, or if it's... Oh no, it's working. Whoa, it's a bit wobbly in my opinion. We're going to have to go real slow. So this thing is obviously not a racer. We should have perhaps added counterweights to the back, because these seats do make something, and I think the Kerbals weigh this thing down as well. And, well, whatever. Gosh, see what happens when I... Whoa, that's really wobbly. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So, we should not accelerate too much with this thing. So, the light works. And, yeah, that's cool. So, we got all this stuff working. Good. Then let's switch back to Bob over here. and have him come to the surface as well. Well, grab that. Don't want to fall down. Would be real bad propaganda, I feel like, just drop down there. Because we don't want the Kerbal Space program to be like humiliated by the second man on the Mun just dropping. Would be ridiculous. Wait, we'll just try the ladder on the back. Let's see what happens if we use that. I added that for a reason. Come on, use it. Use it. No! Oh, you jumped too high. Idiot. Okay, he's obviously just stupid to use a ladder. Oh, no, he hasn't got it. Come on, you're gonna make it. You're gonna get that done somehow. Come on, try. Ugh. Well, that worked brilliantly. He just climbed up and dropped back down. Nope, we're gonna have to do this stupid way. So, get in. Cool. Got two Kerbals sitting side by side. Their helmets intersecting, but I guess it doesn't bother them. Having a bit of air exchange there. We don't need ASAS. Although, let's have ASAS on. Or SAS. Or whatever. So let's go for a ride. Wow, this thing is a lot more wobbly than the other one I had. But we'll see how it goes. So, we're going to have to find a good spot to drop down our flag, because that's the one thing we have to do this mission. We're going to find a nice spot to drop our flag. I say we just go up this hill a bit, like up here. Here's good. Yep, and we should set this thing as a target, because we don't know what happens if we lose it. Everything is so monotonously gray. Could easily mistake this thing for a rock and never find it again. So while these guys drive up there, I'm just going to skip this part and be back when they've reached their destination. Okay, for this shot I actually switched to the super awesome racing cam mode. Third person racing game right here. See, multi-genre. I think that's the best description for Kerbal Space Program that they've ever made. So, just drive up this small hill here. And once we've reached the top, we're going to deploy our flag and demonstrate to all the other guys back on Kerbin that we really are the guys who managed to land on the Mun. And that they can see all with their little telescopes that we actually were there. So, where's the tip of this mountain? Whatever. Slowly break down so we don't fall onto our noses there. And break. Good job. So, I guess Jab's gonna get out of the seat, and Bob there is just gonna take care of the buggy. Good. As you can see, if you right-click on your Kerbals and they are standing, you can click the plant flag button. We're just going to walk this guy into a proper position. We want to have this thing so the light shines on it, like so. And plant flag. I got this pretty cool animation there. Ah, he built it up the wrong way. Now we'll name this site. Well, we'll name it Site Wilson Alpha. I like the name. Oh, it's Alpha there. Plaque text. You can write any kind of description you want in there. Hi. Yeah. So that was the first message that humanity ever left on the Mun. Now you can take it down if you think that it's messed up. You can kind of see the logo. It's okay. The sun is not directly pointing towards it, but it's fine. You can read the plaque. So it says, the plaque on Wilson Alpha reads, "Hi." Yeah. Whatever. So, before it gets too late, let's return to the buggy and drive back to our lander back in the distance. Closing in on the lander there. Good. As you can see, Wilson Alpha is now marked. It's also marked on the map which is a good thing because then we can always find this location. That's pretty cool because I always had problems marking certain spots on the planet, or on any planet, in fact. And the only way to do that was drop like a satellite or something, like a small lander probe, and that was really lame because it would just, be a lot of work and so on. Good. Jeb is going to leave his seat and return to the lander here. Let's just quick save. Good. Grab the ladder. And we're going to switch over. We can actually switch over to the flag, just have a good look at it again. So it's actually like an entity or something. It doesn't have any special interactions, but it's there. So let's switch to the buggy. We're going to have to leave the buggy here, even though it was a lot of fun to drive it. So future generations will be able to use this thing as well, in case they ever decide to come to the Mun. Who knows, perhaps somebody's going to build a hotel right where the first Kerbal moon landing, whatever, occurred. I think that would be a good place for a hotel. I bet you'd be making a lot of money with a hotel like that. Or depending on how you get the visitors to stay there, could get pretty expensive for yourself, actually, considering that you'd have to do launch rockets for everybody who wants to go there. Whatever, that's just pointless. We'll see about that in another episode if we'll actually put a base around that somewhere. Who knows, who knows. So, quick save one more time. And wait till the Kerbalo 4 unit is above us. Perfect. Oh, and set it as a target. And we can actually switch to it now. That's cool too. You can switch to other spacecraft by clicking that. So I know in which direction I want to go because I just went into the opposite direction of where this thing is, and that's just like it's still to the left of me right now, so I have to thrust to the right, and that's just like corresponding to the icons on the indicator here. So let's go full thrust and see when we have an intersection of our orbits. Who knows, perhaps we will not have one. Oh, that doesn't look good. We're gonna have to see about that. Come on, we can make that better. 8.7765432. 2 is good. Good enough. We're just gonna have to do a really harsh correction burn there. Yep. Whatever. So goodbye, Wilson Alpha. See you some other time. Let's just retract the landing gear. I'll see you when I've rendezvoused with this thing. Good, just coming right towards this thing. I really didn't have to do any rendezvousing at all. That happened all by itself. I just had this one intersection and then burned to the retrograde vector of the target view there. And yeah, that was pretty cool. So I never rendezvoused so quickly. Guess that's just my awesome talent. But I'm obviously not good enough to adjust the velocities here. That's fine. So let's point it south. No, let's point it south, south, not north, south, north. Let's just point it north. Good. Switch to the other thing. Pray that we didn't forget our RCS thrusters. No, we didn't. Set this docking clamp as a target and turn it to face. Well, first switch to chase cam and then face south. Good. So that kills all the rotational differences, so we don't have to just translate around this thing all the time. Good, let's thrust backwards a bit. Doo-doo-doo. And downwards. Like, I'm not really saving a lot of monopropellant here. We got tons of it, and we're gonna use it. And I want to make this docking as quickly as possible. Oh, shit. That's dangerous. Gosh, what were you thinking, Bill? Yep, this is all Bill's fault. He's flying this thing, not I am. I'm in fact just watching. Good, so we'll have to align all these three little icons there, which will ensure a perfect docking. Aligned. Enough in my opinion. Oh, and there we go. That was a quick docking. I'm getting better at everything in this game, so let's just quickly move these guys over and prepare for our return burn. Gosh, got a bad cold. So, and this video is getting extremely long as well. I'm just noticing that. Good. Just want to really make this as quick as possible. Good. Now we're just going to have to drop all the fuel from the other things into this container. As I said before, we have fuel left. No, stop. Yeah. So, we're going to have more than enough fuel again. As you can see, it's really never a problem actually. Not with not with these distances and stuff. That's more than enough cruise fuel. I could take even bigger payloads looking at this, but I don't think I want to actually. So goodbye, liner. You did a good job there. Let's hope we'll use you some other time. See ya. Whoop, and there we go. Now we're gonna have to quickly go to this point and put a prograde burn, which will return us to Kerbin in no time. Well, you see, it requires quite a bit of delta V, like 300 delta V, whatever you want to call it. We're going to do a pretty direct burn there, so we're going to crash right into the atmosphere. What you should never ever do if you're like playing with the deadly re-entry mod. But we've only got re-entry effect, so that's no problem at all, I think. So, I'll see you when we've done that burn. Really want to save time. And look at that, we're leaving the Mun behind. Returning to our own homeworld. Well, why do I say our own homeworld? I suppose nobody should be living on the Mun as of right now. That would be very strange. Okay. Good, returning to Kerbin at high velocities there. Just coming crashing down. Good, we're gonna land somewhere on that continent. Whatever. That's really nothing spectacular. Let's just get rid of that part there. You've served us well, fuel tank, but we don't need you anymore. Ugh. Decouple. Decouple. Please. Please decouple. Decouple. Hello. Shit. Oh, staging is locked. That explains something. Did it decouple? Ah, now it did. Good. Goodbye. And let's stabilize this capsule. Oriented so it's pointing. Whoa, this thing is really sensitive. Good. We can see the beautiful terrain of Kerbin coming into view there. Let's time warp as fast as we can. There's some artifact. Let's hope that's something special. Go up to 4 times time warp because we can. But let's not miss out on the re-entry effects because they're cool. Way, we're burning. And there goes the other part. We're burning. Breaking down super velocities in fractions of a second. Look at the look at the G's. We've got 9 G's. And we're getting there. Come on, we're getting more G's. Oh no, looks like 9 G's is the maximum for this flight. So let's get down to a lower altitude. Of about 5,000 meters, where we will deploy our chutes. Time warp to the point of good, they've opened. And now we time warp to the point of landing, because I want to have this mission completed in one video. Good, good, good. There we see the Mun in the background. Come on, time warp, time warp, time warp. I don't want this to take too long. What's there? Oh, grass. Cool. So, and the capsule is going to land safely on Kerbin. Well, congratulations, people. You made it. So, as always, I hope you enjoyed this video, and perhaps you actually learned something about the 0.20 update. And yeah, if you like this video, please rate it, comment, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos about Kerbal Space Program. There's been a sort of waiting time recently because really I didn't have anything special to show and I was tinkering around with a few mods and stuff, but I'm gonna continue playing on the 0.20 version now, setting up a new universe in Kerbal Space Program, considering that my old save world is not available anymore. So whatever, I really hope you enjoyed the video. Hope to see you some other time. Bye.